Hey family and friends, I am here with Oleg. I'm not even going to do an intro. So a lot of you guys know who Oleg is. Works at Bellevue, Windermere Commons, phenomenal realtor, experience 22 plus years. So we're going to sit down and learn a lot about Oleg. Oleg, I brought you in here today really to, we all want to hear your perspective, right? When it comes to the market, when it comes to real estate, when it comes to your story. A lot of agents aren't as seasoned as you are. Right? So we do want to learn a little bit more about you. We want to know a little bit about your market, where you currently work, how long you've worked at that market, specifically what markets you've worked at before, right? You've been to honestly quite a few different real estate offices. So you also know the dynamic, the culture behind working in one office, so working at the next office, and what company has to offer for what. So really, we're gonna learn more about you, your story, and I'm gonna throw spitball questions at you.
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much, Terence, for inviting me for your show, for this podcast. And I have a lot of stories to tell, but
That's good.
Probably
Stories is good.
We'll start with something really basic. When I started my career, it was about 22 years ago.
Okay.
And I got my license end of 1999. And in 2000, I started practicing business.
Okay.
Back in 2000, we have mortgage rates about 8%.
Okay.
And when we have mortgage rate 8%, everything came to the basic. We have to find the clients. We can help educate clients, make sure they avoid any mistakes. And we will try to help them to find properties.
Was it hard in 2000?
Yes,
I think it was
mortgage rate was 8%.
Yeah.
It was great. It actually in 2001, rates dropped, I remember, for 7.1%.
Yeah.
And everybody was so excited.
Yeah.
Rates is much better right now. Now more people can buy a house.
So do you know why rates went down in 2001?
Because was .com recession.
Dot-com
recession.
Yeah,
And
so
.com bubble, I lived through this first recession with my career. It was very interesting because that time we have a lot of unemployment. Unemployment rate went up so much. And also what we have, a lot of people losing jobs, not just IT people. I remember Boeing's laid off a lot of people at the same time. And stock market dropped as well. But real estate market actually was pretty steady at that time. So real estate prices went up about 4%, that first recessions. And when we get to the second recession, we will talk about that as well. That's why I wasn't really worried about recessions at that time because I was a new agent, was young, was so excited to help people. And I started my career. It was total disaster when I started, definitely, because pretty much you doesn't really know many people. And also this real estate business, it's all about numbers, how many people you know, how many people you can help, and how many people in your database. I definitely answer for a lot of agents ask me questions. So what I can do to build my business, and I'm answer simply. You need to work with people. This is people business, and you need to make sure you have a lot of people in your database and help them, serve them, be with them, see them on a Christmas party, see them for barbecue party, summertime, 4th of July. This is pretty much lifestyle. Life story of any agent who wants to be successful.
Yeah. What I like what you said was helping families. What I know a lot of people will come out and they'll say, hey, what can I do to close the next deal or this and that. It's you can't look at it like that, right? Because when you're helping a family with their largest purchase of their life, right?
Yeah, yes.
And you're borrowing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars from an investor and you're committing to a 30-year payment. I mean, those loan docs that you have to sign at escrow are a lot longer even than marital contracts.
That's right. It's right now, But before it wasn't like that. Before it was fast and easy loans.
Before it was fast and easy.
It was much more easy. You just have to have your credit score, and bank will trust you with money. You can say, well, I'll have enough income, and they're like, okay, we can give you millions of dollars, and you can buy whatever you want, and as many houses as you want.
Yeah. And I think that's what led into the 2008 quarter of 09 recession.
Exactly.
That recession, though, was an anomaly. Right, when people talk about recessions, that was one of the largest recessions that we had over the course of 3 decades. But that recession with real estate was specifically because of real estate. Yeah. Right. You had AAA, AA, horrible loans. You had crashing bonds. Right. So in general, that was very, very bad. That was because of real estate specific. That's why we saw real estate go down.
But if you back to 2000s and 2005, so what I remember, any family have basic needs.
Yeah.
And every person, they worry about and care about family, occupation, recreations, and dreams. And dreams becomes one of the parts of the lifestyle of any family, because every person who's get a family, who just got a kids and decide to grow family or move to another location and decide to make new family, they need housing. They need place to live.
Yeah.
And specifically, if you have a new kids and you want for kids to have like play yard, a room to play, and this is like housing becomes really, really important. And naturally, when people like grow, when our populations grow, like demographics is growing, so housing is become in very high demand always. And before COVID time, before 2019, we have about 2 million property builds every year to supply this demand for housing market. And as of when the COVID started in 2019, new constructions.
2020, right?
Yeah, 2020. Yeah, new constructions. It's actually dropped to 500,000 units from $2 million needed to be built. And what's happening now, we have a shortage on new construction homes, about $1.5 million for the last 3 years. So it's a huge
1.5 million homes. Right?
Yeah, homes. Yeah, every year. Yeah, they have to be built. But this shortage needs to be adjusted to the market. That's why we still have demand on the market, even with higher mortgage interest rate today on today's market. But people continue to dream. People continue to care about family, occupation, recreations, and specifically right now, like what I see, it was similar at the same time. Like when I was young, I was 24, 25 when I started this. Actually, I was like 28 when I started this business. So, and when I started this business, that time is people who just got kids, they just want to buy a house.
Yeah.
So same things right now. So a lot of people want to buy a house currently, but what's happening after those rates went up so much, affordability level drops so much as well with that. And if property become not affordable, if you remember like what's happening before COVID and the economy was great, everybody making good money, housing market was growing, but it was pretty steady. So people have enough income to support these mortgage payments. But what's happening like in last couple of years of the COVID, the prices went up 45%.
Yeah.
And the jobs did not went up 45% with the housing prices.
Of course not.
So that's changed affordability for majority of people who live in those neighborhoods, who live in our location, for example, in Seattle area. And those people not able to afford to buy homes anymore. Yeah. But they not afford to buy not just houses anymore. They not afford to get to the rental market as well, because rental market increase as well. Just recently, I listened for like very good podcast. It was Bigger Pocket podcast on the market, and I listened to chief economist from Moody's Analytics, and he's have very interesting prediction for 2023 and what's happening with the market, and what he's thinking. Those millennials right now, it's the biggest buyers force or biggest. Probably from all generations, millennials gonna buy the most homes right now, because millennials start getting kids, start like getting families, raising kids, and they really need this housing market. Baby boomers are like pretty much parents of those millennials. They already have like 3, 4, 5 houses. They have rental properties, and they're probably going to be downsized in near future, maybe next 10 years. And they're going to sell those properties. Those properties going to be become on the market available soon. But millennials need housing, and a lot of those young people, they not afford to buy properties. They not afford to rent properties, and a lot of them living with the parents. And a lot of those people who live in with the parents want to move into the property, they actually dreaming to move out from the house. They doesn't want to move with the family. Specifically, if somebody decides to marry it, you find your like loved ones, your dream girl, you want to make family with, and you want to have your own kids. So next step, what you're always thinking about, you're thinking about house. Where you're going to live, how you're going to be support your family, in what schools your kids gonna go. So what mistake you can learn from your parents, from your life, how you can avoid those mistakes for your kids, for your family. And millennial generation starts thinking about that. So, but again, affordability level is really bad right now for those people. But we have a lot of those like millennials buyers right now on the market. People call them, actually, I heard from different business people, they call them CIA buyers. You know what the CIA buyers means? So those buyers who have credit, who like CSA have credit, have income, and have assets, CIA. But they live in a hopium. Hopium, it's they like hope to prices drop down.
Yeah.
They hope to rates going down, and they like really want to move to the housing market, but they're not ready yet. They're not ready. But buyers always have to be able, willing, and ready to buy the property to become a buyer. And a lot of buyers, they can buy right now, but they're not willing to do so because they hope to live in this hopium. They hope to get better rates, maybe better pricing.
I know education is a big factor too,
Yeah.
right? So like, there's a lot of noise online. There's a lot of like Jerome Powell announced that, right now is not the best time to buy a home for first-time home buyers. You have a lot of people online saying hold, or I'm selling everything that I own, or there's a lot of noise too online. News, what you see, depending on which side, whether you're looking at CNN or Fox, which side you are on politically, you'll sit there and people will digest and take in all this, I want to say, negative noise that are in the market. So that also, I think, plays a huge role. Education is a huge factor. Back to what you said, even when 2020 and 2021 homes were going up in value by 45% plus, depending on the market and the region, people were still buying homes because rates were lower, right?
Yeah.
Now, of course, as rates came up. But now what I like to tell all clients today is why I believe right now is a phenomenal time to be looking in the market is, yes, your rates are a little bit higher, but especially in the season that we're in right now, a lot of sellers, they're not selling because they want to. They're selling because they need to. They're a little bit more desperate, right? Selling in December or selling in January is not the best time to list a home. That's one factor. But more importantly, it's a buyer's market. Buyers have the ability to negotiate depending on the area in the market that you're in. Majority of deals that I'm closing right now, look, I'm telling you right now, I'm seeing seller credits or I'm seeing pricing reductions, even on the east side.
Yeah.
Like even on the east side. That's Bellevue, Kirkland, Issaquah. We're seeing that, right? There are pockets that, there's multiple offers on homes, but at the same time, there is opportunity right now to find a really good deal. And with these credits that we're receiving, even if rates are, for example, like at 6.25 or 6.5, you, as well as I know, you're not going to get a 6.5% rate, even if you get a seller credit, because there are programs like we have that 2-1 buy down program, or 3-2-1. Also, last month I got a guy in on a 3.25% interest rate for his first 12 months.
Wow.
12 months later, he's going to go up to 4.25%. Before he even touches 5%, we're going to refinance him because we know that the market's going to shift. Now, what happened in 2021, Oleg, when rates were at under 4%? Well, competitive, right? You had to compete like crazy. People were offering $200,000 over asking.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, about for a majority of the clients and buyers and families who buy in properties, most families don't think about prices. Most families thinking about what they can afford to pay. Like if you go to store,
monthly
yeah.
payments.
If you go to store and like if you like shopping for a car, for example, and if you see the car like you can afford to buy, it doesn't matter like what price, because like if your income is supporting to buy this car, you will buy anyway. So say something with the houses. The people thinking about like when the prices was higher, but rates was 3.5, 2.75%. So what those people mostly thinking, okay, if we can afford, if we can pay, if we can have some cushion to spend some money for something else, we'll definitely move on with the purchase. But when prices drop down, like prices like lower right now, but rates higher. So affordability, again, why is affordability is the number one issue right now? Because affordability makes a lot of housing not affordable for people because income did not support that yet. And we just received new data from Northwest MLS and just yesterday. And what I see there, we do have, we shrinking inventory. So we have about, if you compare year to date, for like, we have data for November 2022. If you compare November 2022 to November 2021, we have 20% less listings on the market than we had a year ago. And we have about pending sales drop about 43%, sold properties drop about 38%. So we have a lot of drop. So, and just today I checked data for how many homes in King County was like active listings, pending sales, and sold properties for last 7 days. Just very, very fresh data, just last 7 days. And in King County, we have about 460 listings, new listings on the market.
Ouch.
Out of them, we have about 839 sold properties, and it's about like 400 pending sales, and we have about 260 canceled listings. So 50% listings came on the market canceled right now. So we have very low supply end of this year, and usually, like I preaching this on my YouTube channel, in November and December, it's normal to have 60% like less listings on the market and less activities in the market than normal, like summer times and spring times. But this year it's very unusual market and very unusual time. We even have less than 60% inventory, less than 60% pending, and sold properties in end of this year. So this is like a little bit different market.
So do you think it's like a supply and demand issue still to this day?
Yeah,
right now?
still to the day right now. We still...
we do have less buyers, right? As of right now, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac also did their analysts and announcements, and they said we have up to 60% year over year mortgage applications being put in. So yes, we have a low supply, but we also have a lot less people taking applications to go and get home loans.
What I heard about, like when after last CPI report, when mortgage rates drop about half point to 6.5% approximately from 7%. So mortgage application increased for 2.2% nationwide in the country. So a lot of more people apply for loans right now. And a lot of buyers are very sensitive to the mortgage rate and payments because affordability. Yeah. So this is like that's what's happening. But again, we'll see what's going to be happening next year.
What's your prediction? So for 2023, what do you believe is going to happen? I want to say for Q1, first quarter, and then as we transition into second quarter, it always picks up, right? Why? Because you have families transitioning, knowing, hey, school's coming up, so it's that's a
very, very interesting topic because nobody have crystal ball, of course. But with my experience, what I can say, and I just got a very interesting conversation with one of my clients, and I told them same thing as I can tell for all audience. So we do not going to have, I think we're not going to see 7% rates in next decade any longer. So rates right now like 6.5, 6.25 actually dropped again today, but we're going to see lower rate, and probably in the first quarter we will see probably about 6% or maybe 5.75. By midsummer we're going to see about 5.5% mortgage interest rate. And what's going to be happen? We're not going to see probably in our lifetime anymore 2.75% rates any longer. But same thing as the next decades, we're not going to see 7% any longer. So we already passed the worst time we can live through with this is huge jump. I call this jump like for mortgage interest rate from 3% to 6%, like 9/11 effect. So 9/11 effect, if you heard about it, so I lived through this time as well. When 9/11 happens, nobody was buying houses and nobody was selling houses. Like market just freezed for 6 months. But after 6 months, people realize, okay, life is going on, we have to move on with life, and we have to continue to live, buy property, sell property, find different jobs, move to different states, have new kids, and have bigger house. So like life it's continuing. But before that, like it's what's happening right now, we have same effect. So when rate jump from 3% to 6%, the market is freezed. But when we go to the springtime, the market will be softened, and soften with lower, better interest rate, more affordability, and more buyers going to come back to the market to buy properties, look for the home, and they're going to look not on the price. The buyers going to be look on what they can afford to pay for, what kind of mortgage they will be able to buy to get it, and that's going to be reflect on the buying decisions, what property and what location, what schools they're gonna send the kids to. So this is going to be main point. But I think in 2023 will be very interesting market because a lot of negative predictions as well. So my thoughts about next year, what's going to be happening in 2023 is we will see very shortly. We will see very soon. And what's going to be happen, usually nothing's happening in December. Families celebrate holidays with friends and families and Christmas and New Year. And right after holidays, approximately second week in January, starting January 7 to January 15, market is shifting. Like last year and previous year when we have very hot market, spring came in January. We have a lot of listings, people put it in the market. And we have flooded listings, we have a lot of buyers buying properties, and when we have a lot of sales recorded, those prices usually going up, they increase. But this time will be very interesting to see where this inflation is going to go with mortgage interest rate. We're actually going to have new CPI report in December 13th. 14th, yeah. We'll
so that's going to be a big factor. So that's why you have a lot of economists saying, hey, are we actually going to go and see rates soften? Which I'm with you. I feel like we went over that hump. Rates right now have to soften. They're going to continuously soften. So if CPI comes out better than anticipated like it did last month, we know it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Still, we're going to see a 50 basis point rate hike, right? We're going to see a slight rate hike. They have to. They announced it. You know, Papa Jerome Powell is going to do it, right? There's nothing that we can do about that. But if CPI comes out, the Consumer Pricing Index, right? For people who don't know, that's numbers on our inflationary numbers, consumer spending, CPI. So when the Consumer Pricing Index comes out, that's going to play a huge role. If it comes out negative and inflation is not under control, then we'll see what the Fed's going to say about their January meeting. If it comes out positive, then we know we are there when it comes to exactly what the economy is doing, and we're there, with inflation. Inflation on average was around 2%, right? And if we have better numbers and we're going to be at 3.3, 3.2% inflationary numbers, Jerome Powell's going to say, listen, we had for the last 2 decades 2% inflation. It went up. We got it under control. We're slightly above 3%. This is very normalized. We're okay here. And then I believe, we'll go from there. My only thoughts in general when it comes to numbers is we'll see what's going to happen when it comes to the actual value of the U.S. dollar. If something happens like nationally across, from on a global scale, then we're really going to see, hey, are they going to start up that money printer again and drop rates even lower, right? Or not, in order to strengthen the currency, strengthen the bond market, strengthen the U.S. In general on a macro scale. Right.
Yeah, good stuff. 2023 will be very interesting year, and we'll see what's going to be happening. But supply and demand will be always work, and will be important when I started talking about January. So when we're talking about January, we'll see how many listings will come on the market, and that's going to be dictate spring housing market a lot. So if we're going to have a lot of listings here, let's say if thousands of people talking about 10,000 of people decide to put houses on the market at the same time.
Yeah.
And if that's going to be happens in January, and if January we're going to have flooded market with the listings, then prices definitely going to be decreased. But if those people will be kind of stand off, if sellers going to be stand off like they stand off right now, they doesn't want to put house in the market. And if they decide to wait for better time to list the property and sell, then we're going to have similar market as we have right now, and with improving mortgage interest rate and inflation, like you just say. So if that's going to be happen, so we're going to see another wave for demand. and wave for demand going to be help to again move more from the balance market more to the seller's market. So but we'll see. Right now we have 2.7 months inventory on east side and 2 months of inventory in Seattle. And currently, medium sell price on east side dropped from, we actually have flat price in August, September, October. It was like $1,350,000. But right now is $1,316,000. So it's dropped about for like $34,000 medium sell price. But it's normal. Again, we right now, end of the year, holidays. A lot of people celebrate holidays. So they're not really into the buying or selling. But people who selling right now, the people who moving for the jobs, moving to different states, maybe retirees, they
selling because they
need
to.
They just have to. Majority of people not selling properties because of they want to sell. Majority of the people selling houses in springtime when kids finish in school, they want to change school, change locations, live in a better neighborhood or maybe upgrade. Those people going to be on the market in springtime, like March, April, May, and we're gonna have like most recorded sales. So we always have it like in May, June, first couple of those months.
That's fantastic. So, Oleg, before I let you go, I never ask, and I usually ask this up front, but I'm going to ask you now. What market do you work in?
Yeah, I'm in Bellevue. I'm working with Bellevue Commons. I'm on East Side agents, and but I'm serving like everywhere. Majority of my clients live in King County and Snohomish County, and I'm driving pretty much everywhere from Olympia to Bellingham. So I have clients bought properties in Bellingham last year. So I sell houses on the islands. And yes, pretty much everywhere.
Okay, very good. Friends, thank you so much. I know Oleg's been here for almost a full half hour, which is fantastic. Thank you so much for listening. If you guys are looking for a phenomenal real estate agent that's seasoned, been in the business for 22 years plus, still incredibly active, and that's really a top producer in King County, reach out to Oleg. Oleg is going to be an amazing resource. Oleg is going to be a phenomenal resource when it comes to, even if you're like thinking, hey, I don't know if I want to buy right now, if I want to sell, running comps on my current property, anything to do with real estate on the east side or in King County, reach out to Oleg and he will definitely help you out. Oleg, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.